The Irish ship group leader, Fintan Lane, supported by Prime Minister Edna Kenny.
Okay. Let me get Bob Chapman to comment on that. Thank you, G2. Haven't heard from you in a while. Bob, your comments on what he was saying.
Well, first of all, the actions happened versus those ships. And who is the likely suspects? The Israelis, because they don't want a flotilla. Although this, to me, has very little to do with Greece other than I think there was one ship there, and a little hazy on what happened with it. I don't know whether it was off Piraeus or where it was. But I don't know that one thing belongs to the other or has anything to do with the other. There's no question. The sabotage with the flotilla that's going to Gaza, and they had to take off minus one or two or three vessels. And that's just simply dirty tricks. And the Israelis are well known for that. As far as Greece is concerned, agent provocateurs, you're always going to have them. And that's just the way governments work today. But there's tremendous amounts of people. You and I both have many videos of what's gone on there over the last almost a month now. And I have people who are subscribers who live there. And they're very successful, some of them. Some of them are middle class. And everybody knows everybody in Greece. It's a small country, and generally speaking. And so I think that 99% of what you're seeing in the streets by protesters is real.
Absolutely.
They're really disturbed, and I don't blame them.
Absolutely. Pamela in Wisconsin, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hi, Alex. How you doing?
Good.
I'm glad we're all awake, and I just want to let the good news that Jesus Christ Yahweh is in Australia. You can find him at YouTube. Brian is Yahweh too.
Pamela, come on. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Do you have any questions or comments for Bob?
Well, it's the seeds of Seth and the lower level seeds of Cain have a truth right now. We're trying to save
I appreciate your call. I'm not going to do it. I think we got some prank calls today. John in New Jersey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Alex? Listen,
Good.
man, thanks for everything you do, your guests, your staff there. You know, thank goodness there's people like you in the world. Listen, I sent a couple emails, and there's a couple things that I want to say. The first one I sent is I was trying to figure out exactly how much government costs us in this country. Now, it
depends on your tax bracket, but most people, one way or the other, pay about 60% in taxes in studies I've seen. Bob Chapman?
That's about right.
And in France, it's over 85, correct?
It depends upon where you live within the United States, but California, where I lived for years, is terrible.
Stay there, John. Stay there, John. Stay there, Bob. We'll come back, let you finish your question, and then let Bob finish his answer. But, yeah, it varies, but they've got global gauges. They call the U.S. a tax avoidance area because we only pay 60% in some form of tax. France is the model at over 85. Because they greedily keep 15%.
What would you do with a check for
Unfortunately, we are out of time here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a special broadcast coming up on Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. I'll just leave it at that towards the end of the show. The last 30 minutes of the broadcast on Sunday are important to tune into. Bob Chapman's our guest. I want to get to all these people, but we were talking to John in New Jersey, and he was talking about what percentage we pay in taxes. If you really get down to it, businesses, everything passes on the cost to you, but then you have all the fines, the fees, the regulations, the property taxes, the business taxes. And even if you're, quote, blue collar and making, a lot less money than some folks, you're hit the worst because all the expenses of what you buy, people that have more money than you in their businesses are passing the expenses on to you. But again, their problem in all their public documents is a, quote, overheating economy. Things growing fast. They don't like that. This is a command destruction economy, and I want Bob to comment on this, but they constantly talk about this for 100 years, where they're taxing to suck money out of the economy, to slow things down, and then giving waivers to insiders so only they can operate with an unfair trade advantage. And the examples of that are legion, but the big one is 2,000-plus companies that give to Obama get health care waivers, and now no one can compete with them. They can lower prices, and whether it's a hamburger or a car, and no one can defeat them. It's total criminal mafia operations. Bob Chapman.
Well, it's the same as the situation with the profits of offshore corporations that are American corporations. You can make money, keep it offshore. 5 years ago, we had legislation. The promise was that these transnational conglomerates would hire people in America if they could bring money back, and they were allowed to bring money back, about $350 billion, and instead of paying 35% taxes, they paid 5.25%. They want the same deal again. This time they want to bring back $2 trillion. What did they do with the money last time? They went in the market, bought their own stocks, ran up the prices, and cashed in on their options.
Does that answer your question, John?
Yeah, well, some good information. I found a wiki page. I think that probably has the best information. It's from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, and they're up over 72% of GDP, excluding the debt. We have a unique opportunity right now, and the only solution that I could think of that I want to tell all your listeners.
I'm going to interrupt you. 72% in taxes, because I know conservatively 60, but yeah, a lot of estimates have France above 90. I wanted to be conservative because folks won't believe it. If I lie in any way, it's that I tend to go with the most conservative numbers, knowing people won't believe it. And so it's not lying. It's just I'll go with and then people accuse me of exaggerating, and generally it's the opposite. But yes, I've seen those numbers. Sir, what type of greedy person are you? You want to keep 28% of your money? It's not enough that serfs only paid 10% in ancient Europe, and you're paying 70 plus. What type of sicko are you, John?
Well, that's why.
It's not funny, man. Are you a racist? Because not wanting government-run health care is racist.
All of that's just ridiculous.
No, I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm sorry, make your point, and then Bob will finish. I'm sorry. I'm just talking to somebody who's greedy and hateful.
Unique opportunity right now because of this financial crisis, and the only thing that I could think is that we got to band together. We got to stand up against these people. There's not going to be too much of a window of opportunity to ever do this, and say, you know what? The federal government's fired. Let's bring everything down to a local level where at least you could show up at some guy's house and give him a hard time if he gets out of control. And that's it. That's the only thing I could think that would make any
well
sense.
said. Bob Chapman, final comments on that, my friend.
I just want to leave you with one thing. Here are the current European tax rates. UK, 67.5%. France, almost 60. Greece, 65. Spain, 61. Portugal, 62. Sweden, 80. Norway, 79.3. Netherlands, 71. And Denmark,
hold on, we'll go
83.
into overdrive for 5 minutes because I got to finish that. See you back Sunday, folks. We've got different TV networks on out there during the breaks. And I saw the headline on Fox. Government sues Apollo 14 astronaut. We're going to pull that up and see what that's about. Doing 5 more minutes here with Bob. I wish I could go for 10 more hours, but I got a long way to go and a short time to get there, another way to say it. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have miles to go before I sleep. I'd love to go to these calls. We'll see what happens. But and again, Bob, I think you're just going with the income tax rates. You're not counting the council, the city, the parish, whatever the jurisdiction is, all the telecommunications fines and fees, the carbon taxes, the travel taxes, the sales taxes, the environmental taxes, the service taxes, the hotel taxes. Because the numbers I've seen is from the OECD, the UN complaining that the United States is only a little over 60% of total taxes, and so the world invests here, kind of like Texas, is better in the rest of the U.S. So Glenn Beck's moving here. Is there nothing he doesn't do that to imitate what we're doing? But so basically, that's why I was saying France, from the numbers I've seen, is approaching 90% in many tax brackets. Go ahead.
Agreed. And the VAT alone will put you up there. And so the taxes are prohibitive, and that's the way they're going to get in America. If you notice the plan that they're trying to put together to extend the short-term debt limit, they want to raise taxes. And the Republicans are saying, generally speaking, no, we want you to cut back on what you're spending. And they're at a standoff. And what nobody mentions is that between the date that the extension ended and August the 2nd, the federal government will have borrowed about $275 billion to keep the government going during that period of time which they borrowed from the pension plan without informing anybody, so to speak.
Well, folks, if you want to get a free copy of hard copy or emailed, the latest international forecaster, you can give Midas Resources a call, 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. These arrogant people aren't going to stop, Bob, as you know. It's us or them, and we've got to go through the fear. We've got to face the corruption, as you've done, and we've got to continue to warn people and live to fight another day. And we've got to get people that work for government and the corporate structure to realize that this system's going to destroy them as well, and that it's a mind trick to tell themselves they're on the winning team when they join with the New World Order. Do you agree with that statement?
Absolutely. And, of course, I've been working toward that end for over 50 years. But the real point here, and we talk about it in each broadcast, we are gaining on them. We are strong. We are breathing down their collar. We are making great gains, and that's why we're attacked all the time. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and we need your help out there, supporting Alex, and also spreading the word. I know that you're going to get rejected 99 out of 100 people that you talk to, but do it anyway.
Absolutely, folks, and they're trying to censor the web and InfoWars and others for a reason. We're effective. God bless you, Lord willing. We'll see you next Friday, Bob.
You got it. Bye-bye, everyone.
You bet. This Sunday's going to be a special broadcast. They're suing the astronaut for selling his camera. I guess they gave it to him and let him keep it, but then I guess he wasn't supposed to sell it. Side issue, little factoid, but I thought that was too crazy. Speaking of spreading the word, it also means supporting those that are spreading the word. We try to give you the best deals possible. I beg you to get my films and make copies. As Lindsey Williams says, I beg of thee. But Obama Deception, Terror Storm, Endgame, Police State 4, Fall of the Republic, and Mark Dice's new book, Big Brother, The Orwellian Nightmare Come True, free on top of that order. $29.95 for the 5 films. Get a free book. And we're going to run that special through the weekend. You can also call, the folks will be here a few more hours, 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139 if you want to order over the phone. God bless you all. Retransmission with Key Intel starts now on Agenda 21. Stay with us. See you back Sunday.